I'm Bea.
And I'm Sam.
And we're two best friends who like to talk shit about smut, wingspan,
And sometimes books.
Join us every Wednesday for a new episode.
Welcome back, Smutterflies.
Hello, little Smutterflies. How are you? It's a very sunny day here in the Costa del Swans, isn't it?
It is. It's a very exciting day here in Costa del Swans. Bethan's book reveal.
Oh, God. I'm so... You always do that, and you're like, do you want to talk about this? And I'm like, what?
I'm like, oh, should we address the elephant in the room? And you're like, oh, which one?
What one elephant? I don't know. Yeah. So this obviously, like, when you're listening to this, it happened like a week ago, but...
About a week ago,
Is that a song?
Yeah.
Never heard of it. But at the time of recording, today was my cover reveal day.
Yay. And yesterday was Mother's Day.
And
UK
Mother's Day. Yeah,
UK
we don't
Mother's
like.
Day.
I was funny enough. I was editing Throne of Glass today, and we obviously talk about it. And I'm like, oh, it's funny that we have to say like,
UK.
Yeah, because
did you have a nice Mother's Day?
Do you know what? I had a stunning day.
Oh,
I prefer Mother's Day over my birthday.
Oh, what do you have?
Oh, I was spoiled rotten. This is going to sound really like sexist, but I had a new kettle, but I really wanted it. It's a hob one on the hob. It's not an Alecki kettle. It's Le Creuset. I've wanted it for a really long time. And then they came into the outlet in Bridgend the other day, and I was like, because they are like pound, full price. But then they came into the outlet, and I was like, hint. The Le Creuset kettle. I had Marks and Spencer's really bougie pajamas, like cotton, really nice ones.
Nice.
I had a big thing of bouquet of lilies. I had like a really nice like Yankee candle diffuser.
Nice.
But you know there's sticks coming out of a diffuser.
Yeah.
It's like silk flowers.
Oh,
it's lovely.
Love that.
My sister got me flowers.
Oh, that's nice.
And my mum cooked me a Sunday dinner.
Stunning.
I stayed at my mum's house, so
Lovely.
like we had Indian on Saturday night. She got me a bottle of wine, and then we had like bougie Marks and Spencer's pastries for breakfast.
Oh,
I had breakfast in bed on a tray.
Oh gosh, you're talking my language.
I know. And then I also had like, I don't know if you ever tried it. They do it for Mother's Day. Marks and Spencer's like a mimosa in a bottle. So it's like prosecco and mango.
Yeah.
And I had that with my Sunday dinner.
Stunning.
I had my mother made homemade blackberry and apple pie crumbles. She picked the blackberries from her back garden.
Oh my good gosh.
It was like we sat in the garden all day. It was lovely. It was just
top tier.
Sounds
lovely.
Sent me home with loads of leftovers, loads of beef. I had leftover Sunday dinner for lunch today. Oh, it was just,
hell.
I know. So I
prefer.
I think I had more as well, but I can't remember what else I had. I definitely had more. But I prefer Mother's Day. I love it. I love Mother's Day. Honestly, it's worth having a child just so you can celebrate Mother's Day. Honestly,
I'll take note.
Yeah. What did you do?
We went to visit Steve's mum. And then we spent the afternoon at my parents'. Me and my mum opened a bottle of Prosecco. Then I had a couple of ciders in the sun.
Ooh.
And then I had a little white wine spritzer.
Oh, mixing.
I know.
Were you falling home?
No. We'd walked Simba down there, so we walked home with Simba. Had a nice walker back up.
Lovely.
It was lovely.
Lovely. I love Mother's Day because it's always like at a really lovely time of year, and it's usually really good weather, and it's just very springy, you know?
It's lovely.
Yeah.
What are you currently reading?
I am currently reading, I think it's what I was reading last week, And the Age of Summer Will Rise by Camilla Andrew, which is the beta we're doing for, it's the third book in the Essence of Equinox series.
You weren't reading that last week, but okay.
Oh, was I not?
No.
I thought, okay. Well, that's what I'm reading. And I'm still listening to Sunrise on the Reaping. It's wrecking me, destroying me. So devastating and sad, but it's fucking class. I think that's...
Have you started what's next? Heir of
Fire. I have not.
Oh, okay. Was it?
Yeah.
Queen of Shadows now?
No, Heir of Fire.
Yes.
Then Queen of Shadows.
Yeah. What am I reading? I'm currently reading Foxglove by Adeline Grace.
Yes.
And that's it.
Is it the second one or the third one?
Second.
How did you like Belladonna?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Good read?
It was. Yeah. It's, I don't know. It's like a murder mystery in Bridgerton.
Yeah, you said.
With like fantastical elements.
Ooh.
Yeah. So I'm audiobooking Foxglove at the moment. I'm not reading anything else.
You've still got stuff you need to read.
Yeah, I know. Nell, do you want to get out my throat?
I'm gonna get off my dick.
I finished the book for today on Wednesday.
Yeah.
And then, no, I didn't. That's a lie. On Friday.
Yeah.
And then I spent Saturday, Sunday finishing my author spotlight because we need to do that by next week.
Yeah, because you're the beginning of the month, aren't you? Yeah.
So after I finished this book, I went straight into my author spotlight so that I can now free up the rest of my time to do other things.
What are you going to do next? Dustbound or Broken Souls and Bones?
Broken Souls and Bones.
And then you're going to Dustbound?
Yeah, and then Dustbound.
And then is that it for your commitment? Have you ticked everything off the list?
Yeah.
Well done.
It was a big old fucking list.
I know.
I'm probably forgetting things, but
I don't think you are.
Can't remember now, to be honest.
I don't think you are. Oh, and you've got Deep End to do for the Patreon. If you listen to this and you want us to hear us,
yeah.
I was editing Throne of Glass today, and you know the amount of times I can't speak in that episode. What's wrong with me? If you want to hear us talk about Deep End, particularly more unhinged than we are here, April's Patreon episode is going to be us talk deep in Deep End.
Diving into Deep
End. And it's coming at the end of April, so you've got time if you want to subscribe and listen and support.
While we backstroke our way through that book.
Oh. Backstroke. Do we want to talk about, maybe we can edit this out, but we haven't spoken about this, but we kind of spoke about this.
Ooh.
Because we always say, this is going on a bit of a Patreon tangent, but I don't care. Anything we make off Patreon goes back into the show. So
the show? Oh my God.
Show. So the studio, backdrops, mics, lights, everything you see is a result of Patreon. Everything we get, we put it back in to make this better. We are embarking on a journey together on this podcast where we've agreed, we haven't actually done it yet, that we are going to enter the British Podcast Awards this year.
Yeah.
We're going to do it.
Yeah.
We're going to do it.
Yeah. Please vote.
Patreon is making that happen. No. This one isn't a vote. This is the judges.
Oh.
Yeah, no, the public vote one is you can vote for anyone, but when you enter, it's a proper professional judging panel. And that's being made possible by Patreon.
Yes, because you have to pay to enter.
Yeah, and if you're probably thinking, why the fuck are you doing it? You're not going to win. I agree, we're not going to win.
Never in a million years.
I think it's good because it's a big show, a big
networking event.
Yeah, it's a big dinner, and it's just putting our name out there because they're gonna have to talk about us, read out the entries on screen, and not to toot our own toot, but our name is really memorable.
Yeah.
So I think just having us there, mentioned, spoken about is good networking because for anyone who's in the UK or knows a British podcast, literally the most popular British podcasts go to this. So Dish, which is the Nick Grimshaw, Abby, is it Abby Clancy and her husband do one. What else? There's loads. There's loads of Gil's Bathroom.
Yeah.
Do you know Jamie from Made in Chelsea and his wife do one?
Newlyweds.
Yeah. So we are
Shag, Married, Annoyed.
Yes. They
Chris Ramsey.
all enter these awards.
Yeah, because they got fucking money.
Yeah,
they can afford to do it
for free as well.
Yeah.
They probably don't even pay to enter. But yeah, like we said, it's a red carpet event. We will get to dollar because even if we don't win, we still get to go to the event.
Yeah.
And it's good networking, like Sam said. And there's a very, 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 very small, slim chance that we could win.
I don't think there is, but okay.
But it's more of a chance than if we didn't enter.
Yes, that's very true.
So that's when is it? October, I think, is the show, evening. Yeah. Sam's got some reading to do, and you've got some homework to do for it.
Yes, I do. I was looking at my wall because I was going to tell you that my dad's put in our whiteboard up for us. Now that we've done this setup and we've got a free wall, my dad's going to put the whiteboard up on the wall for us.
Ah, lovely.
And then I'll actually keep it updated. At the minute, it's November's spotlights.
It goes up to 27th of Jan, but yeah, it's a good 3 months.
April tomorrow.
Yeah. Anything else in the little?
I think so.
Oh, just to say, sorry, going back to my cover reveal. Now that's done, they will be open by the time this comes out, but they're opening this week. My ARC and my street team sign up forms are going to be opening. So if you want to be a part of my street team, or my ARC would like to receive an ARC for Daughter of Stone, then go over to my Instagram or TikTok, b.a.pepperauthor on both. Or if you can't find me, go on podcast one and you'll find me there. And they will be in my link tree. Was there any more book things I feel like I had to say? Not like a real update, but I booked in for all 5 of the remainder of the books in the series today. Like, signed the contracts, booked them in with the editor.
Ooh.
Like, they're booked in, so now, like, yeah.
Now you got to write them.
Well, and it's like, I can push them out a little bit, but, like, they're pretty much, like, they're happening when I've said they're happening.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. Crown of Midnight.
Crown of Midnight.
Can I start?
Absolutely.
And you're going to have to strap in because it's a big one.
Oh, all right.
But I've got a lot to say. And it's the end of the book. I'm going straight to the end because I've got a lot that I want to talk about.
Go for it.
It's chapter 55.
Yeah.
This first sentence is from Chaol.
Uh-huh.
What does that mean? He demanded. She smiled sadly. You'll figure it out. And when you do, she shook her head, knowing she shouldn't say it, but doing it anyway. When you do, I want you to remember that it wouldn't have made any difference to me. It's never made any difference to me when it came to you. I'd still pick you. I'll always pick you. Near enough exactly what she said to Sam when he said you'd pick Arabin over me.
Yeah. Also, in this, like, so I think we've spoken about it before, but if you're only listening to this one, we'll just give you a brief update. I read this before Sam, Throne of Glass. I knew, because if you're listening now, we can talk about it, that the big plot twist at the end of Crown of Midnight is that Celaena Sardothien is Aelin Ashriver Galathinius. I didn't know the plot twist before reading it, but I had seen the main character referred to Aelin as so many times that then when I was reading it, I was like, oh, I've kind of had this spoiled. Sam knew nothing, so it was like a legitimate, like, plot twist reaction. I made sure she was kept in the dark. But at this point, were you like banging your head against the wall at Chaol at how fucking slow he was being?
Yeah.
Like, come on.
But I've got more.
Okay.
And then I'll get really into it.
Okay.
And it's a lot, so sorry for this monologue.
No. I love it.
This is chapter 56.
Okay.
Chaol didn't understand what she told him, the words she'd whispered in his ear. It was a date, not even a year attached to it, a month and a date that had passed weeks and weeks ago. It was the day that Celaena had left the city, the day that she had snapped at Endovia a year before, the day her parents had died. I'm going to skip ahead slightly. He pulled out the Royal Chronicles, all from the past 18 years, and started back one by one. Nothing. Then came the Chronicle from 10 years ago. It was thicker than all the rest, as it should be, given the events that happened that year. But when he saw what was written about the date she had given, everything froze. This morning, King Olon Galathinius, his nephew and heir, Ro Galathinius, and Ro's wife, Evelyn, were found assassinated. Olon was murdered in his bed at the Royal Palace in Orinth, and Ro and Evelyn were found dead in their beds at their country estate along the river Florine. There is no word yet about the fate of Ro and Evelyn's daughter, Aelin. Chaol grabbed for the first genealogy book, the one on the bloodlines of the royal houses of Ardalan and Terrasan. Was Celaena trying to tell him she knew the truth about what had happened that night, that she might know where the lost princess Aelin was hiding, that she had been there when all this happened? He flipped through the pages, scanning the genealogies he had already read, but then he remembered something about the name Evelyn Ashriver. Ashriver. Evelyn had come from Wendelin, had been a princess of the king's court. Handshaking, he yanked out a book containing Wendelin's royal family tree. On the last page, Aelin Ashriver Galathinius' name was written at the bottom, and above it her mother Evelyn's, but the family tree traced only the female line. The female, not the male, because 2 spots above Evelyn's name was written Mab, Aelin's great-grandmother. She was one of the 3 Fae sister queens, Maeve, Mora and Mab. Mab, the youngest, the fairest, who, when she died, had been made into a goddess, known to them now as Diana, Lady of the Hunt. The memory hit him like a brick to the face, that Yulmus morning when Celaena had looked so uncomfortable to be receiving the golden arrow of Diana, the arrow of Mab. And Chaol counted down the family tree, one after one, until my great-grandmother was Fae. Chaol had to brace his hand against the desk. No, it couldn't be. He turned back to the Chronicles, still lying open, and turned to the next day. Aelin Galathynius, heir to the throne of Terasan, died today or sometime in the night. Before help could reach her deceased parents' estate, the assassin who had missed her the night before returned. Her body has still not been found, though some believe it was thrown into the river behind her parents' house. He'd once said that Arobin had found her half dead and frozen on a riverbank. He was just jumping to conclusions. Maybe she merely wanted him to know that she still cared about Terasan. There was a poem scribbled at the top of the Ashriver family tree, as though some student had dashed it down as a reminder while studying. Ashriver eyes, the fairest eyes from legends old, of brightest blue ringed with gold. Bright blue eyes ringed with gold. A strangled cry came out of him. How many times had he looked into those eyes? How many times had he seen her avert her gaze? That one bit of proof she couldn't hide from the king. Celaena Sardothien wasn't in league with Aelin Ashriver Galathynius. Celaena Sardothien was Aelin Ashriver Galathynius, heir to the throne and rightful queen of Terasan. Celaena was Aelin Galathynius, the greatest living threat to Ardalan, the one person who could raise an army capable of standing against the king. Now she was also the one person who knew the secret source of the king's power and who sought a way to destroy it. And he had just sent her into the arms of her strongest potential allies, to the homeland of her mother, the kingdom of her cousin, and the domain of her aunt, Queen Maeve of the Fae. Celaena was the lost queen of Terasan. Chaol sank to his knees.
And we're just going to finish there for today, and that's all we need to say. No.
But I've written here, how the fuck did I never realise? Because I've got so many quotes just from Assassin's Blade. This is chapter 5 of Assassin's Blade. So I'm in like the first bit of the story.
This episode is going to be episode 56. Sounds a fucking moron.
Literally. Chapter 5 of Assassin's Blade. Slowly, Celaena turned north towards the source of the breeze, which smelled of a faraway land she hadn't seen in 8 years. She breathed it in, staring across the leagues of lonely black ocean, seeing, somehow, that distant city that had once, long ago, been her home. The wind ripped the strands of hair from her braid, lashing them across her face. Orinth, a city of light and music, watched over by an alabaster castle with an opal tower. It could be viewed for miles. And I've literally written here, if I'd looked at the map and seen Orinth was in Terasan, maybe I'd have worked it out sooner.
Oh, I don't know. That's so funny.
What a fucking idiot.
Yeah, I agree. But also, like, the whole time you were reading that, I just got chills.
I know. It's amazing.
This is where, and apologies if like so much of this episode us focusing on the end of this book, because for me, the end of this book onwards is where we get cooking. This is where we're throwing of glass in.
Yeah.
Up until now, it's been lovely, but we've just been like paddling.
Yeah.
Now we're going down in the depths from here. And obviously we're not going to spoilerify, I'll get to that next week, but like, I'm going to be honest, like Throne of Glass is my least favorite. This book is my second least favorite.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, apart from like the final like the amount of chapters, it's all just you know.
Yeah.
I do enjoy that Celaena finally bangs Chaol. I do enjoy because there's something about like, although we're called a Protestant wingspan, we don't always like the smut. There's something about appreciating more like the intimacy between two people in a romantic way when it doesn't involve smut. There's a description of the way Chaol kisses her neck in this, and like it sticks in my brain forever. Like I love it. Yeah.
And do you know what I love is that like she bangs him, and obviously it's her first time and whatever, but then she's got a fucking taste for it.
Yeah, they can't stop. They're like rabbits.
They bang in the broom cupboard.
Yeah, they bang in his office at one point as well. I love it.
It's fucking brilliant.
I love it. Her doing a little dinner for his birthday.
Oh
stunning.
My god! Let me find it because I can't remember what I wrote.
This is why, again, we're not going to jump ahead, but like just in general, this is why I can't understand people who've read Throne of Glass can be Chaol haters. Because it's like, did you not read these books? You know, like, are we not reading the same thing?
I've written somewhere, I can't find it because I've got so many notes. Honestly, my notes for this is ridiculous. I've written, I wish Celaena would date me.
Yeah, me too. So personal, so much thought behind it. Love that.
We get Mort in this book.
And we said this, we had to cut it, but we said this last week. We did not fucking remember the Mort is only Crown of Midnight. I was convinced, like, Throne of Glass, Crown of Midnight. Yeah, I love Mort. One of the very few redeeming factors of this book is Mort.
I also have a favourite, like, quote from this. It's not meant to be funny, but I think it's fucking hilarious.
Okay, yeah.
And it's after Nehemia is killed, and Celaena's is.
I know what you're gonna say because this is because we lose our heads over this together. I know it's not supposed to be funny, but we think it's so funny.
It's genuinely not supposed to be funny.
So funny.
She's singing at Nehemia's grave, and Chaol's watching, and then we're getting Chaol's POV. She did not have a beautiful voice, and many of the words sounded like half sobs, the vowels stretched by the pangs of sorrow, the consonants hardened by anger. She beat her breast in time, so full of savage grace, so at odds with the black gown and veil she wore.
Why, right? I don't understand how people could not like Chaol, because he's so unintentionally funny.
She did not have a beautiful voice, and she's just like,
he's like, this cow, like, her best friend's just died. Anyone else would be like, do you know what? I'll give her a moment. Chaol's like, no, I'm gonna watch, and then I'm gonna slag her off and say how shite she is at singing.
Oh,
I love
my God.
It's not supposed to be funny, but like,
it's not
hilarious.
We also get Dorian's magic in this book.
Yeah, finally. So, like, again, we were just talking about quotes the last two books, last book where we were like, interesting.
Oh, his hand was cold.
Yes. I'm glad we can finally talk about this because it's been difficult to like keep zipped. Also, again, we can talk about it now, but like, are you so proud of us, guys, that at no point in the last two episodes did we call Celaena Aelin? Like, obviously, we wouldn't have let that go into the version, but we actually never slipped up.
Never, ever.
I'm really proud of us.
Yeah. Oh, we get so many nice Chaol and Celaena moments in this book.
But like this is a Welsh saying, but like Chaol's a Tupsin.
Oh, he is.
How the fuck is he not clocked on?
I know. Well, I didn't either.
But then, but like she gives him that bit of paper and he's still like, don't understand.
He
and then
sees her as Faye.
Like
she goes through the portal and he sees her as Faye. Yeah, then he's researching genealogy. He's just
looking into her fucking eyes for 2 years, you dumb fuck. And he's like, dead daughter. Oh, well, it must have been BFFs. Must have been a gal pal.
Yeah.
Maybe she's just not fucking dead.
Yeah. I'll have to give a bit of backstory before this. We get Roland in this book, who is Dorian's cousin.
Oh,
he's a bit of
such
prick.
a cunt.
And basically...
Two for the
ding, 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 ding!
Number 2 counter. An appropriate one as well, because he's a massive
horrible.
Cunt. Yeah.
And Chaol basically says that he was in love and that Roland
rizzed his girl.
Yeah. And then Celaena says to him, for what it's worth, Chaol, if she picked Roland over you, that makes her the greatest fool who ever lived.
Oh, that's so nice of her to say that.
I love her.
Yeah.
I have to jump down because I have to talk about something.
Okay.
We get Holin come back, Dorian's little brother, who is a spoilt little prick.
Can we put a third on the counter?
Should we?
Do you want to do it? I've had 2. You call her.
We get Holin come back, who is right little cunt.
Ding, 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 ding.
Number 3.
He is. He's
so spoiled.
Awful. Everything that I feel like Dorian was scared that he'd become, and he's tried so hard to not be that person. Holin is that person.
Oh my God, he's insufferable.
Yeah.
He's a fucking carnival just because he's back.
Oh God. Oh. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, go on.
And they bring in a singer to sing at a meal and a violin player, Rena Goldsmith. I'll get to that in a second, but this is from the dinner that Celaena does for Chaol's birthday.
Okay.
The roof of the apothecary was an enclosed glass greenhouse filled with flowers and potted plants and fruit trees that had been hung with little glittering lights. The whole place had been transformed into a garden out of an ancient legend. The air was warm and sweet, and by the windows overlooking the expanse of the Avery River stood a small table set for 2. Chaol surveyed the room, turning in place. "It's the Fey Woman's garden from Rena Goldsmith's song," he said softly. His golden eyes were bright. She swallowed hard. "I know it's not much. No one has ever done anything like this for me." He shook his head in awe, looking back at the greenhouse. "No one. It's just a dinner," she said, rubbing her neck and walking to the table, if only because the urge to go to him was so strong that she needed a table between them. She recreated the moment from the woman's song that they both cried to when they were listening. They were at the back of the hall, both of them crying.
I honestly, we once had to delete a thread because we got so much hate about it that people were losing their heads. When I tweeted or threaded that Throne of Glass is this generation's Lord of the Rings, I fucking stand by it.
I say it with my whole chest.
Like, this series is fucking beautiful.
It's stunning. But that's stunning. King lops her head off.
Yeah. Oh my God, I just got goosebumps this whole episode.
Dorian jerked awake at the sound of a clock chiming and found himself sweating despite the fierce cold in his bedroom. It was odd enough that he'd fallen asleep, but the frigid temperature was what struck him as most unusual. His windows were all sealed, his door shut, and yet his shallow breaths clouded in front of him. He sat up, his head aching, a nightmare of teeth and shadows and glinting daggers, just a nightmare.
Interesting.
Very interesting. Oh, I've found the quote, sorry. Hours later, the King of Ardalan stood at the back of the dungeon chamber as his secret guards dragged Rena Goldsmith forward. The butcher's block at the centre of the room was already soaked with blood. Her companion's headless corpse lay a few feet away, his blood trickling toward the drain in the floor. Harrington and Roland stood silent beside the king, watching, waiting. The guard shoved the singer to her knees before the stained stone. One of them grabbed a fistful of her red gold hair and yanked, forcing her to look at the king as he stepped forward. Cunt.
Oh, we've got number 4.
Ding, fucking ding.
Wow.
Because the king is a horrible bastard.
I agree. And I also again, the general consensus is that people hate Chaol. I'm going to say it now and I'll repeat it every episode just to remind everyone who's listening. If you hate Chaol, you hate Aelin/Celaena because they are two birds of a feather.
And also, Aelin/Celaena, she loves Chaol. She loses her virginity to him.
Yeah.
And we've said it in a previous episode and we'll probably say it every episode going forward. He is just human. All these people have got magical powers. They're all from these royal lines.
Yeah, now we
and
kind of know that,
from royal lines and whatever. Cut him a bit of fucking slack.
Yeah, agreed.
Fuck off.
Yeah,
leave him alone.
But I do believe that Aelin and Chaol are the female-male version of each other.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Okay, tell me you hate Chaol after this. He stared back at her, neither of them smiling. Somehow, beyond smiling at that moment, the waltz built, louder, faster, and Chaol steered her into it, never stumbling. Her breathing turned uneven, but she couldn't look away from him, couldn't stop dancing. The moonlight and the garden and the golden glow from the ballroom blurred together, now miles away. "We'll never be a normal boy and girl, will we?" she managed to say. "No," he breathed, eyes blazing. "We won't." And then the music exploded around them, and Chaol took her with it, spinning her so that her cloak fanned out around her. Each step was flawless, lethal, like that first time they'd sparred together.
That is one of my favourite scenes of this entire series, is the juxtaposition between Nehemia and Dorian inside and Chaol and Celaena outside.
She knew his every move and he knew hers, as though they'd been dancing this waltz together all their lives. Faster, never faltering, never breaking her stare. The rest of the world quieted into nothing. In that moment, after 10 long years, Celaena looked at Chaol and realised she was home.
How can you hate Chaol?
And realise she was home after 10 years. Oh my God. I just need a moment with her.
I'm do people read a different fucking version to us?
Is there different versions of Chaol depending on which book you buy?
Because I have nothing to say to that. I'm
Honestly.
speechless because what do you say to that?
Honestly. Fucking fly.
Oh.
My head in.
Yeah. What do you say to that? Stop fucking hating Chaol.
Yeah, piss off. So, leading up to Nehemia's death, her and Celaena having that argument.
Yeah, it's rough.
And Nehemia calling her a coward.
Yeah. So, here's two things I'm going to say about that, like, scenes.
Yeah.
Again, another reason why people hate Chaol is people do believe that he's to blame for Nehemia's death. No, he's not.
Archers. It was all fucking Archers. Manipulation.
Him not telling Celaena that they had, like, questioned Nehemia, because this is what people forget. Chaol is not exposed or aware to the true nature of the King of Ardalan. Although I think he's stupid because he's the head of his fucking guard, but it is made clear that, like, he's very separate to the king. He's not like his right-hand man.
The king has got secret guards that carry out his, like, dastardly acts.
Literally. So, like, it's been set up that it makes plausible sense that Chaol would have no idea that the King of Ardalan is quite as ruthless and as bloody as we know as the readers, because we see behind the curtain. And also, like, again, Nehemia is a princess of Aelwy. I'm not saying, I know that the King of Ardalan is known for conquering kingdoms, but what Nehemia's father, I think, is her father, is that he, like, abdicated. He didn't, if he'd have resisted, he would have been killed like everyone else was. But he almost, like, abdicated and got to keep his title under the guise of, like, yeah, we'll be mates, but I'm not really a king, you are, but, like, I don't get my head chopped off. So, again, Chaol wouldn't see Nehemia going to speak to the King of Ardalan as anything, like, suspicious. He would have said, he doesn't not tell Celaena in a, like, spiteful, oh, I'm not sure going to tell you way, because he genuinely, and I believe if that was me or you or anyone listening in that situation, we would be the same.
Well, I think he explains it at one point because obviously the king tells him that there's been, like, a threat on Nehemia's life.
Yeah.
And he says, I didn't tell Celaena and Nehemia because if it was a test of my character and he wanted to see where the mole or the leak was, he would know. If he'd only told me that, then he would know that it only came from me.
He still has a job to do. He still serves the king.
Thing is, he doesn't know any different. And I'm not saying that that's, like, an excuse.
Yeah, no.
All he knows is serving his country.
Yeah.
And, like, if it was any other soldier in any other, like, realm, you'd be like, oh yeah, good on him for, like, only listening to his king and being, like, so, like, on the straight and narrow.
And what we also have to remember is that Chaol doesn't serve the King of Ardalan. He serves Dorian.
Yeah.
He does everything that he does because he knows that soon, at some point, Dorian will be king.
Yes.
That's who he wants on the throne. That is where his unwavering fealty comes from. It isn't for the King of Ardalan, it's for Dorian.
Yeah.
Dorian doesn't have a great relationship with his dad, but he still trusts his dad as the king. Therefore, Chaol is going to trust his dad as the king. Again, it's like, I'm like, people, are we reading the same fucking books?
But despite of whether you love or hate Chaol, after Nehemia dies, Celaena says to him, you will never be my friend. You will always be my enemy.
That really hurt me because I just, like, I understand.
You understand it. She's grieving. She finds Nehemia. She's the first person to see her, and she's not just like slit her throat. Like
he mutilates her.
And then that's how she realizes that it was grave.
Yeah. But I can forgive Celaena for saying it because she's grieving. And obviously she forgives him because one of the quotes you said earlier was after the fact when she says, I'd always choose you.
Yeah.
But I just don't think it's fair to blame Chaol.
Yeah.
It just isn't.
I agree.
It isn't fair to blame him. And Celaena comes to terms with that. So why can't everybody fucking else?
Got a really interesting quote here.
Interesting.
This information is not for the idle games of mortals, Yellowleg snapped. Gold gleamed in Celaena's palm. Name your price. The woman studied her from head to toe, sniffing once. Nameless is my price, but gold will do for now.
I'm speechless.
Interesting.
Well, now you've mentioned it. We'll go into this now. The whole witches.
I'm Brooke. I'm Cammie, and we do Throne of Glass deep dives over at Bookish Realms Pod.
We're doing so well, Sam. We're doing.
I've got one.
We've got...
You've got nothing.
All right.
I love it. Okay, so next up we have Crown of Midnight, who visits Dorian to warn him about Celaena opening the portal.
Ding, 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 ding. Gavin. Oh God, I was going to say Sardothien. Ashriver. No, Galathinius. Which one is he? Galathinius.
It is Gavin, but his last name is Haviliard.
Oh, Elena's the Galathinius, and they marry, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So yes, Gavin Haviliard, but I guess you could technically like their bloodlines. I guess in a sense, he's like a Galathinius a little bit, but.
Okay.
I'll give you the point, B.
You guys.
Gavin.
Thanks.
You guys are yeah.
So Baba Yellowlegs and the witches.
Yes.
I'm just going to say this because we can move on from it, right? I had the quote in my book tabbed and then I forgot my book, basically.
Okay.
When Celaena's talking about seeing the carnival and seeing the witches come and Baba Yellowlegs with like her cart and whatever, it said that with Baba Yellowlegs is another witch who's young with long white hair and is described as like the most beautiful woman Celaena's ever seen.
Shut up.
Yes. No one talks about it, but that is a quote, and I had it for you, but I'll send it to you later.
I got a lot of Baba Yellowlegs here.
Go for it.
It's long, I apologise.
No.
There are gates, black areas in the word that allow for life to pass between the worlds. There are word gates that lead into Irelia. All sorts of beings have come through them over the eons. Benign things, but also the dead, and foul things that creep in when the gods are looking elsewhere. Yellowlegs disappeared behind a mirror, her uneven steps echoing along. But long ago, before humans overran this miserable world, a different sort of evil broke through the gates. The Valg. Demons from another realm bent on the conquest of Irelia, and with the force of an endless army behind them. In Wendlin, they fought against the Fae. Try as the immortal children might, they could not defeat them. Then the Fae learned that the Valg had done something unforgivable. They had taken a piece of a word gate with their dark magic and split it into 3 slivers, 3 keys. 1 key for each of their kings. Using all 3 at once, the Val kings were able to open that word gate at will, to manipulate its power to strengthen their forces, to allow an endless line of soldiers to pour into the world. The Fae knew that they must stop it, and so a small band of Fae set out to steal them from the Val kings. Yellowleg said, her voice coming nearer again. It was an impossible task. Most of those fools didn't return, but the word keys were indeed retrieved, and the Fae Queen Maeve banished the Valg to their realm. Yet for all her wisdom, Maeve couldn't discover how to put the keys back in the gate, and no forge, no steel, no weight could destroy them. So Maeve, believing that no one should have their power, sent them across the sea with Brannan Galathinius, first king of Terrasan, to hide on this continent, and thus the word gate remained protected, its power unused.
Wow.
Interesting.
Well, we can talk about it a little bit.
Yeah, well, we obviously find out later in this book that one of the word keys, the king has it, and he is using it.
Yeah.
We don't know, like, to what extent, but we've seen the Ridderak.
Yeah.
And we've seen the human monster creature that's in the catacombs and the library. That's scary as fuck.
Yes.
I fucking hated those chapters.
Yeah, me too. They're so suspenseful. You're
When
like,
she
"Ugh."
obviously she's in the clock tower, it's made out of all this black obsidian
Yeah.
stuff. She's like, oh fuck this, I'm going back. Turns round, everything that she's lit along the way is all extinguished, and then this fucking creature is oh my god, I fucking hated it. I hated it.
Yes, I
was on
remember
the
it being really
edge.
tense. Yeah, I remember reading it and being really tense. And I don't normally feel like that in books. Like, that's why it's not that I don't like horror. I just can't be
Yeah.
scared by a book.
No.
But I was really
Yeah.
like, oh. Yeah, I feel like, again, this isn't a spoiler, but like this mention of all the word keys, the Val Kings, gates, we're really starting to cook on like the main drive of this story.
Yeah.
I'm gonna just say a little thing by here. Just skip it. Just skip it if you've not read any other. If you've not read the rest of Throne of Glass, you don't have to skip this. But if you've not read like other Sarah J. Maas works, then probably skip this. Because I read this second, so I read ACOTAR, then this, then Crescent City. I feel like really the best read in order is Throne of Glass first.
Yeah.
Because I forget how everything Sarah has written is so centered around like a core principle,
Yeah.
which is the possibility to travel through gates and time and worlds.
Yeah.
That's all I'm going to say on the topic. But because ACOTAR and Crescent City are far more synonymous with that, more Crescent City, I forget how prominent it is in Throne of Glass.
Yeah.
That's all I will say on that.
Are we ready to cry again?
Oh, yeah.
But you might not find this emotional, I do.
I probably will.
Easing it out from under the books, Chaol picked up the thick paper and read. The world dropped out from beneath his feet. It was Celaena's will, signed 2 days before Nehemia's death, and she'd given everything, every last copper, to him. His throat tightened as he stared at the sum and the list of assets, including an apartment in a warehouse in the slums and all the wealth inside. And she had signed it all to him with only one request, that he consider giving some of it to Philippa. I'm not going to change it.
When Celaena / Aelin Ashrigathinius believes something and feels something, she believes and feels it with her whole chest, and she doesn't waver. She doesn't waver on her judgment and morals of people, despite what they might do to contradict that. But if she sees you as a good person deep down, she's sticking by that.
Yeah. I've written here, chapter 46. Celaena decides to open a portal. Dumb bitch.
Yeah, it's really fucking stupid.
Really fucking stupid.
Are you talking about the bit where like Fleetfoot goes in? And,
oh my god. I literally, it's written here somewhere. If anything happens to Fleetfoot, I would have DNF'd.
We said this in the last episode. Why I can't fucking do pet companions. No. I was convinced he was a goner.
She,
sorry, I forget. Sorry, her. Misgendering her. I was convinced.
And she does get cut really bad on her leg, but I was literally like, oh, and when then she asks Dorian to look after her because she goes to Wendlin. But yeah, her opening that portal was such a fucking stupid idea. Even Nehemia's like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah, she's a tupsim for that.
Fuck off.
Yeah. And is it when she goes through the portal when Chaol sees her ears?
From the corner of his eye, Chaol saw her come in, the ancient sword in her hands and her face set with feral rage. The moment she burst through the portal, something changed. It was like a fog vanished from her face, her features sharpening, her steps becoming longer and more graceful, and then her ears shifted into delicate points. The creature, sensing it was about to lose its prey, made a final lunge for Chaol. It was blasted away by a wall of blue flame. The fire vanished to reveal the creature slamming into the ground, flipping again and again. It was on its feet before it finished rolling, whirling towards Celaena in the same move. She was between them now, sword raised. She roared, revealing elongated canines, and the sound was unlike anything he'd ever heard. There was nothing human in it. Because she wasn't human, Chaol realised, gaping up at her from where he still crouched over Fleetfoot. No, she wasn't human at all. Celaena was fey.
I could sit here and listen to you read this whole book. I love it. I'm like so like what happens next? I'm listening like I'm hearing it for the first time again. I'm like, oh yeah.
Fucking amazing.
Phenomenal.
Oh my god. Ugh. I just feel so stupid. You know, like when you realise it. Oh, there we go. I swear to God, if anything happens to Fleetfoot, I will riot.
Yeah. Yeah. We don't do animal companions being killed.
I've got a really interesting... we get chapter 54, which is from the king's point of view.
Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah.
He had never learned anything about the mark that had glowed on her head during the duel. The word mark was impossible to decipher. It either meant nameless or unnamed or something akin to anonymous. But God's blessed or not, from the wicked grin on her face, the king knew she'd enjoy this task.
We can't comment on that right now.
Very, very interesting.
Just gonna say very interesting.
I've got it written down somewhere, but I can't find it. Her going to visit Celaena in the dungeons and giving her her cloak. Interesting.
Not comment, but very interesting. Oh, I love this series.
So
and it's not that
good.
I'm saying it because I want to rush through it, but like,
yeah,
this is why. And we would do, if there was any series we were going to kind of like go against our normal format, it was going to be this series, right? Like, we could never have done Throne of Glass in like one episode with no. Like, it needs to be coherent, and the only way we could do that is doing it book by book, right? But like, guys, when I say all we want to do is yap about this series as a whole, because like we said in the last 2 episodes, and we'll say for every single fucking episode, every sentence that Sarah writes in this goddamn series is like jam-packed. That's all I can say.
And it's intentional.
Oh.
Everything she does is intentional. And it makes my heart giddy.
I like, look, there's a lot of Sarah J. Maas hate out there, and that's fine. But like, she's the writer of the century.
Yeah.
She is.
You heard it here first.
Anybody that cuts her short by saying she writes fey porn smat, like, fuck off. Like,
read Tog, because this isn't fey porn.
It's literally one of the greatest fantasy literary series we have had in the last 100 years. Easily in the top 5.
Oh, easily. And like, obviously, when I read this, I'd only read ACOTAR and Crescent City.
Yeah.
Fantasy-wise.
Yeah.
And like Harry Potter. But now I feel like I can confidently say, like, I'm a seasoned fantasy reader.
Yeah.
Like, the amount that I've read since reading this over the last 2 years.
And it's still the best thing you've ever read. Yeah.
And like, I love Akamath. Like, honestly, it's my favourite book ever. But like I said, I think last week or the week before, Tog takes it for me because the intricacies, the way she's written it, the fact that she wrote Assassin's Blade after, like, what? That shouldn't be able to make sense in your brain.
And I think it's absolutely, again, a testament to her writing and her characterization and everything that she does, is that as like 2 women in their late 20s, early 30s can read a series that's about like fairies intended for 16-year-olds and feel empathy and see yourself in characters and feel things that apply to life in your 30s, that's what I mean. It's a testament. Like, you just mentioned it, right? Like, I loved Harry Potter growing up and I've read it since as an adult, right? And it's great and I can appreciate it for what it is, but it's very YA, if that makes sense. Like, the characters go so deep, but they're not, you know. Throne of Glass is in a league of its own because you can read this at 16 or 67 and it'll make you feel the same way. It can apply to a 16-year-old and a 67-year-old.
Yeah, and I think, you know, sometimes like when you've seen something as a child and you do take it at surface level, I think you could read it as 16 and enjoy it, but read it as an adult and feel it.
You can read it every decade and like it evolves and you realize, you can read it as a surface level series and be like, yeah, cool, adventure, magic, like blah, 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 blah. But then, like you said, it evolves with you. Like, you feel it deeper as age goes on.
Yeah.
It's like every other book is maybe this deep, right? Like, maybe fantasies are like this, but Throne of Glass is like literally like a cavern.
I think it's like, you know, when you watch a Disney film as a child and you're just like, oh my God, I love Disney.
Like a Pixar film.
And then you watch as an adult and you pick up on all these hidden meanings and like the little humor and like the things that a kid, it would just wash straight over their head because they're just taking it in for what it is. And I think this series would do that too. If you read this at like 14, 15, 16, and then came back to it when you were 30,
Yeah.
you'd have a very different reading experience.
Throne of Glass is the like Pixar movie of the book world.
Yeah. But
Talk about-
obviously, I finished this book. I'm talking first time I read it.
Yeah.
My mind was blown because Celaena Sardothien, and that, like, reading it for a second time, all the little Terrasan
Hints.
hints. I was like, how the fuck did I miss all this?
Well, I wouldn't even say it's hints. They're like big, gigantic gongs in your face.
Literally, it's like,
yeah.
boom.
Yeah.
Like the counter
right-
going off.
Like a right hug.
Yeah, and I'm
literally.
like,
boom. Where's she from? Boom. Wonder who her parents are.
yeah,
Boom.
north, I think.
Yeah,
Like,
ooh.
honestly, didn't have a fucking clue. But when I finished this, and I was like, right, Celaena's Aelin,
Yeah.
Celaena's Fae,
Yeah.
she's going to Wendlin where all the Fae are.
Yeah.
I was just like, oh my god, what the fuck's gonna happen?
Yeah.
She's been sent to kill the royals in Wendlin. I was like, oh my god.
Are her relatives?
The Ashrivers.
Gavin Ashriver is her cousin.
I thought Gavin was the king that comes to visit Dorian. His sword, and is he also Gavin?
But
Yeah.
him.
Yeah. Oh, I was literally like, oh my god, what is going to happen next?
Yeah.
And you can see now why I read these so quickly.
Oh, yeah.
I was literally like, doom, done, doom,
Literally.
done.
Yeah, Crown of
No
Midnight.
wonder I didn't pick up on the Terrasan thing. I was reading them at the speed of light.
Yeah, you're just like, but yeah, I always say to people, like, when you start this series, if you're a bit like iffy schmiffy about Throne of Glass and Crown of Midnight, you've just got to get to the end of Crown of Midnight because then we're
Oh.
cooking.
An Air of Fire. I remember, I just remember loving Air of Fire.
Oh yeah, it
Her
only
in Wendlin.
it only gets better. Like, not that it only gets better book by book, but like Air of Fire is fucking phenomenal, and then every single book after that is just like knocking it out of the park, knocking it out of the park. 5 stars, 5 stars, 5 stars.
I'm so excited.
These 3 books that we've done have been the only 3 in the series I've not given 5 stars.
Oh, Assassin's
like-
Blade's 5 stars for me.
It's a 4.5 for me.
And this is 5 star for me.
No, this is a 4 for me. Everything from Air of Fire onwards is a 5 star.
The only thing I didn't give 5 stars to is Throne of Glass, which is a 3.5. Everything else
Can
is
give it a
5 star.
3. Yeah.
Everything else is 5 star in the series for me.
Outstanding.
Oh my god. I just can't wait for next week now.
I know.
I'm going to start it tomorrow and I'm just going to enjoy my head off.
Yeah, I'm going to start mine tomorrow. I actually might start it tonight, to be honest.
Yeah, me too, actually. Fuck it.
Back end. I love it so
Yeah.
much. I'll treat myself. Yeah, I just,
Oh, I'm so excited.
too.
Oh,
I'm glad, like, not that I'm glad that we got these out of the way because I've loved every minute of it, but like, I'm like, we're
and
cooking.
I'm so glad that we didn't go, oh, I reckon we could just do Throne of Glass and
no,
just
I'm
try
really
and wing
glad.
it.
Yeah,
I'm so,
there's been-
like, I'm loving that I've got all my quotes ready and that I've like laid everything out how I want to speak about it. Like,
Lol, not me.
well, you did, Neely.
I've made an effort. I just,
Not tonight.
not tonight. Well, I had,
yeah.
but yeah.
But yeah, I'm just like, I'm so glad we decided to dedicate the
Yeah, 'cause
time
there's
to
so
also
much-
reread it.
Yeah, and it's been so enjoyable. There's
Oh my
so
God, I've
much that
loved
I'm
it.
relearning and realizing that I didn't. And even though I read it at the beginning of the week. Most of the time, I've been reading them towards the end of the week before we record. But I read this early this week. But what's made me laugh is like, even though I read it, you're telling me things, and I'm like, oh yeah, that I've forgotten from
Yeah.
last week because I'm just like, no. I'm like, yeah, there was a chapter from the King. Like, I fucking forgot about that. But yeah,
Yeah, class.
Yeah.
Absolute class. Oh
Yeah.
my God, I'm so excited.
yeah. I'm buzzing. I just love it so much. I love the series. I think a yearly reread of this series is a requirement.
Yeah.
Although if I do it again, I might skip Tog and Crown of Midnight. Sorry about that.
Oh, but what about that last chapter though? I feel
Yeah,
like
maybe I'll just
need
read
it.
like the last third
Yeah.
of Crown of Midnight.
So good. Yeah, because I don't know if I can read about the scary monster under the
No, I hate
catacombs
that.
again.
Like, I love it, but it's
I
really
was like,
like
"Oh,"
intense.
and the
Yeah,
portal scenes. I was like, oh,
yeah.
Fleetfoot.
Yeah, well, exactly. All
Yeah.
that with Fleetfoot and yeah.
Yeah.
But I might reread about Chaol kissing her neck and then bag it in the broom cupboard.
That's just brilliant.
Outstanding.
This isn't Crown of Midnight related, but I saw a fan theory today, and it might not be news to anybody else. I might be the only person who hadn't fucking seen
Okay.
it. But I saw a fan theory that Arwen Hamel is Sam's father.
Oh, I've seen this before because he
Because-
was, yeah.
His mother was his favourite courtesan, and the courtesan was killed by a jealous client, and people are like, Arwen.
why did he take him in? He wouldn't have taken anyone else in. Didn't take Lysandra in, didn't take any of the other wayward strays, and he took in Sam. I've heard this. And also, I'm sure we'll have to go back and have a look, but I'm sure the way she physically describes Aaron and physically describes Sam is quite similar.
God. Oh.
Also, what would enrage Arabin even more than somebody taking Celaena off him?
It being his son.
He knowing it's probably his illegitimate son.
Oof. Yeah, I saw it today and I was like,
who in the world would make Arabin feel inadequate? Son.
Yeah.
Taking the woman/daughter that he's sort of in love with.
Yeah, it's very fucking weird. Because at one point she says, doesn't she, like, father, mentor, lover.
But also knowing that, like, what she feels towards Sam, because they're, like, related, she could have felt that towards him if Sam wasn't in the way. I have heard that theory before.
Gosh.
It's a very, very interesting theory. I
very
love it.
interesting.
Very
I was like, okay.
You done?
I think so.
Oh, I know. Not to like cut these books short because I've loved doing them, but I'm so excited for next week.
I know. Same. Yay. Thanks so much for listening.
Follow us on TikTok and Instagram at a pod of Smut and Wingspan.
See you next week.
Bye.